1. The blame shifting narrative. This insidious self-serving justification works by the group labeling the target with any negatively connotated label through subtle, nonverbal cues and whispered hearsay, never through direct conversation. This, like all covert abuse, is designed to be difficult or impossible to confront or defend from. As a result of the stigmatized label, the target is ostracized by means of the group or community actively ignoring the target, becoming extra quiet around the target or when they arrive, pretending not to know the target, and by creating a sense of disconnection. The blame-shifting narrative the abusive group or community uses as a specious justification for their abuse of the target centers on the false idea that the communally enacted abusive behavior is not a choice made repeatedly, but rather a requisite reaction to the target's supposed character flaw. The specious justification thinly veils the community's sadistic desire or compulsion to abuse targets when a community, group, or society attempts to deny that any different treatment is occurring. They are essentially gaslighting the target and communicating that the abuse is all in your head. You are being overly sensitive. It's just psychological and emotional abuse and manipulation. Your memory is faulty. That never happened. And even if it did, see above. You're overreacting, everyone else deals with it. You should be ashamed for not conforming with abuse. These combined manipulations can lead to many targets questioning their own judgment, memory, or even sanity. Targets who begin losing trust in themselves become more susceptible to the desired fallacious reality or narrative promoted by perpetrating criminal groups, cults, or high-control religious groups, all of which typically have the aims of strict and unwavering obedience to control and conformity. Covert ostracism and its ancillary abuse by denial thereof are sometimes annoying. The same people that wanted to make a sport slave, a terrorist, a drug dealer, or just a prisoner by way of corruption, entrapment, and lies now want really good things for me despite an enduring history of racism and dehumanization. I'm not that dumb. In the separation phase of abuse, individual abusers typically don't cease completely their ongoing deception about their feelings and motives toward the target, i.e., they will continue to communicate feigned desire for the target as well as an intention for positive outcomes, or whatever for the target, while in actuality holding no positive regard or concern for the target's well-being, while being solely motivated by monetary gain and effectuate the initially intended destruction of the target. Dishonesty by individual abusers shift markedly during this phase, e.g., lies about actions taken or done by the target in efforts to smear the target with the above stated motives during this phase. Abusive groups during this phase are mostly deceptive, only about their true motives, which are centered on recruitment, conformity through coercive control, and/or destruction of the target. To achieve these ends, they lie about universality and omnipresence, that all good deeds and all good or honorable people are affiliated with the cultic group. Claims that all harmful or negative deeds are either universally denied or universally claimed dependent on whether the underlying narrative supports the group's current manipulative aim of either attempting to instill trust or attempting to instill fear in the target regardless of the speciousness or veracity of the cultic group's claims or assertions. How do you make people understand that you don't want their trash? They keep trying to give me their trash and I don't want it. They are so smart but can't understand a simple concept like, I do not want your garbage. How do I help them understand? It sounds less like they don't understand and more like they're ignoring or minimizing what you've already said. When people keep doing something after it's been made clear, the fix usually isn't better explaining, it's firmer boundaries. Start by making your message very direct and unambiguous. Without softening it, I don't want any items you're trying to get rid of. Please don't offer them to me again. If they persist, I've already said no. If you keep bringing this up, I'm going to stop responding to it. If they're physically leaving stuff with you, you can escalate slightly. If anything is left here, I will throw it out or return it. Then follow through consistently. People tend to adjust when they see the boundary actually means something. Also, avoid over-explaining or debating. The more reasons you give, the more they may try to argue around them, but this one is useful. but it's not really trash, etc. A simple, repeated no, I don't want it is harder to sidestep. If this is someone you deal with regularly, family, coworker, neighbor, you might add one clarifying line once. I prefer to choose my own things and not take secondhand items. After that, repetition plus consistency is key. You're not trying to make them agree, you're making your boundary clear and sticking to it. If you want, tell me who they are, family, coworkers, neighbors, and I can help you tailor wording that fits that situation. It would seem to be an international hatred and sex cult that keeps trying to give me their trash. I do not want their useless garbage. It's a very simple thing to understand, and the enduring persistence is annoying more than anything else. That sounds really frustrating, but the idea that it's an international hatred and sex cult targeting you with trash isn't a realistic explanation for what's happening. When something feels that persistent and personal, it can start to feel organized or intentional on a big scale, even when it's not. A more grounded explanation is usually something like, a specific person, or a few people, think they're being helpful or don't respect your no miscommunication or habit. They've gotten used to offering things and keep doing it. A local situation, neighbors, coworkers, family, rather than anything coordinated, the most effective way to deal with it is still practical and direct. Be very clear, do not give me any items. I will not accept them. If they leave things anyway, immediately return them or dispose of them without discussion. Don't engage in arguments or explanations. Just repeat the boundary if this keeps happening and it's starting to feel overwhelming or targeted. It might help to talk it through with someone you trust in real life, just to get a second perspective on who exactly is doing this and what's actually happening on the ground. If you want, you can describe a specific situation, who gave you what, where, how often, and I can help you come up with a response that fits that exact scenario. These racist, bigoted, and pathetically corrupt assholes keep trying to get me to take their trash, so that I'm stuck here in their miserable, racist, hateful company until the inevitable early end of my life. I have made clear that I would prefer quite literally my own murder, sui, or homie than to remain here in this terribly corrupt and materialistic and false reality of a world with or without them. And yet, they continue to harass and offer and beg and impede my departure by every corrupt means available to them. Oh, you should tell that it is okay, KK, for them to both go fuck themselves and to murder you because you will be dead before you participate in their charade of hate and lies in any way. MMK, pumpkin?